Wishinder is an exotic kinetic bow available from completing the Shattered Throne dungeon and then completing a hidden quest. Its main perks are Queen's Wrath, which reads, while aiming down sights with a fully drawn bow, enemies behind walls are highlighted. It also has anti-taken fletchings, which increase the damage against taken enemies, and Broadhead Arrows, which causes arrows to damage targets on entry and on exit. It also allows arrows to penetrate multiple targets. So let's go over that Queen's Wrath perk real quick. In short, it gives the weapon wall hacks as long as you have the bow fully drawn. Enemies will remain highlighted a few degrees outside of the sights, and you can see targets up to 59 meters away. A general rule of thumb I've given myself is if an enemy isn't glowing, they're probably too far away to reliably land shots. However, if they are glowing and take up a majority of the sights, then you're in perfect range to use the bow. Now let's go over the weapon in PvP. The general name of the game with this bow is slow. Its draw time is slow. Its handling makes the weapon feel heavy. Everything about this bow requires planning. So if you're wanting to use this in any sort of close range maps where you'll be constantly swapping weapons, you might want to plan your perks accordingly. Bow dexterity with other armor pieces like Dragon Shadow to increase your weapon's handling speeds will really help you out. If you don't do this, you need to be comfortable with losing a lot of fights to people who can close the gap or just kill you faster with whatever weapon they might be using. Another quick note, as of this video, the Broadhead Arrows are currently bugged in PvP and do not properly proc their damage if the target is moving. This creates a pretty big problem since the overall damage of the bow relies on the exiting damage of each shot. Normally, a bow will kill a target in one headshot and a body shot follow-up. The same is true for Wishinder if the Broadhead Arrows are allowed to deal their damage. However, if they don't, then Wishinder suddenly becomes the lowest damaging bow in PvP. I'll pin something down in the comment section regarding this bug whenever it gets fixed. Now, when the bow is actually working as intended, it's an incredibly rewarding weapon to use. The wall hacks allow you to usually see far enough on a map that you can plan out attacks. Information is king in PvP, and knowing that a radar blip has either one enemy or multiple is just a huge boon. Pairing a quick draw or high handling speed hand cannon with this bow is really good, as is a shotgun. Wishinder has a high accuracy stat and will work in the longer ranges on maps, so pairing something close range with it is going to be optimal, especially since the bow's extremely slow draw time makes landing that critical follow-up shot difficult. Priming a target as they round a corner and then quickly swapping to another weapon is going to be the easiest method for close range engagements. When it comes to longer ranges, I feel like Wishinder is actually a little bit too slow to use there. You have to rely on your targets being almost oblivious to the damage that they're taking, and also be in fairly open areas so that they don't immediately go back into cover. The draw time is just long enough that landing a follow-up shot is going to be difficult at pretty much every range. I feel like I'm repeating myself saying that, but I really want to drive that point home. The majority of the time, your deaths are going to be from trying to land that slow follow-up shot, so plan on using the strength of the bow to land the initial shot and then swap to something else to land the final blow. For Gambit, I'll be blunt, you don't want to use this bow there. Its long draw times and overall slow speed will just be a detriment to your loadout and your team. While arguments could be made for using Wishinder's wall hacks to help find invaders, that can also be solved with basic map awareness. Since the wall hacks max out at 59 meters, chances are you won't be able to find an invader anyway. The only strength to Wishinder in Gambit is its high damage to major mobs, but that means nothing when every green ammo type weapon does that job better without slowing down your entire game plan. Moving over to PvE, Wishinder's wall hacks aren't exactly the most useful perk to have. I can't think of an activity where it will suddenly be the determining factor in your success. It's definitely useful in some of the darker environments in the game, but again, I don't think that should suddenly make you use this over any other weapon. The real draw to using this in PvE is the over-penetrating arrows. They seem to have a pretty generous aim assist, so you can easily clear through multiple lower level enemies, provided that they actually line up. Think of it like a really powerful but really condensed Firefly perk. In regards to the anti-taken fletching perk, I can't really tell the difference here. I'm sure the perk gives a little bit more damage to taken, but it isn't going to make you suddenly want to use this in an activity full of taken enemies over other weapons, especially since most everything kills lower level mobs in one shot. The only thing that makes Wishinder stand out above other bows in PvE is its damage against major enemies. It should do more than any other bow. So if your goal is to deal the most single target damage using a bow, then this is the one for you. However, if you're wanting to use only the best of the best weapons, I can't really recommend this one for your loadouts. Just use a sniper if you're looking for that longer range semi-auto precision damage weapon. It's kind of a shame that Wish Ender doesn't perform well in any particular activity. To get it, you have to do a pretty difficult activity multiple times while completing a quest that's, well, basically hidden. Any legendary bow would basically be a better option if you are determined to use one, especially since that opens you up for using other exotics. The thing I've noticed about Wish Ender isn't really that it's bad because any of its perks. I actually think the weapon has a really good overall power level for bows. The problem is the game. As far as competitive loadouts are concerned, it doesn't really need bows. The role they take is an in-between of scouts and snipers, when going for a more specific role is generally best. If I want a long-range high-damage weapon, I go for a sniper. When I want precision long-range damage and ammo is going to be a concern, I'll use a scout. Bows don't really feel like they have a place for me if I'm wanting to take stuff seriously. That doesn't mean that they aren't fun though. I really do enjoy the rhythm that you can get into with them, and they're extremely fun when I just want to slow down. Wish Ender is definitely a bow that makes me appreciate that side of the game. I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, a positive rating would be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.